you, I believe the story is you got sentenced to 5 years in prison at the age of 15. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. My first.
How did that happen?
I got into a fight with a cop, and I was coming out of you know, someone's house at late at night. Kind of snuck out of her house, and I was walking home, and they rolled up on me and said I was loitering and prowling. And I said, you know, I don't know what that is, but I'm going home. So this is the quickest route to my house. You know, I live here, she lives here. They wanted to call, and her dad was, you know, Spanish and wasn't going to understand nothing. He's just going to know I was there late at night. So I just said, well, it's none of your business. I'm going home. And I walked away. And he horse collared me, like pulled my shirt back, like by my neck real hard. And I wasn't really thinking. I just kind of spun and hit him, and I cracked his jaw. And yeah, I ended up having to pay his hospital bills and everything.
You got some hammers for fists. Man. I would not want to get hit by one.
Nah, and you know, and I boxed a little bit, and I was just quick with my hand. I've always been real quick. I don't look quick because I'm, you know, huge, but I just always been real quick. My dad was quick, and it's just genetic or whatever. So I got in more trouble than I you know, signed up for. And so I just ran. I took off home. They were at my house. They came deep, you know, and then the judge kind of made a at the time, single moms with their kids was not really something they wanted down there in Naples, Florida. And not to make, you know, excuses, you know, you hit a cop, you should go to jail, but I kind of got made an example out of. You know, I was a big kid, about 315 pounds at that time, 6'4", in my 9th grade year. And so, you know, the judge didn't have any kind of, you know, I just told the truth. I said, look, this was a fight, and, you know I'm wrong, but we can work this out. And he's like, yeah, 5.5 years. Good luck, son. He set me on my way, and that was it.
Yeah,
and
that seems insane, even for punching a cop.
Right.
I understand it's way worse if you're assaulting a police officer, but just like a punch.
Yeah, they're very
5
strict about that
years.
down there. Like, you can't even get in a fist fight without catching a battery charge. Like, that's probably normal now, but where I grew up in Jersey, I mean, a fist fight, you know, it was just a fight. Even if a cop challenged you in a fight, and you know, and they said, you know, I'll put the gun down, put the badge down, they fight you. It was total different thing where I was from than where I moved into.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. By the time
what town are you from?
Originally?
Yeah.
Well, I was born in Camden, and then I was raised in Newark, in Jersey.
In Jersey,
yeah,
right.
Yeah. And then I moved to Florida, though, when I was 14. I think I had like one good year there, and then I went to prison. Yeah. I won all right year. I did good in sports, but I couldn't concentrate in high school. Sports was the only outlet I had.
5 years in prison from 15 to 20?
Well, I got sentenced to 5.5.
Okay.
And then I broke a guard's jaw in there.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
perfect.
Another.
God damn.
Yeah, so I ended up doing 2 more, and then that wasn't that bad. He was kind of at fault too. Well, at that time, it was always somebody else's fault. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. In retrospect, you know, you're supposed to have a timeline when they wake you up. They're not supposed to touch you. And I might have got around the timeline a little bit and hit them anyway, just because I didn't like them. And at that time, I was like, nah, he woke me up. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just swinging. So in retrospect, I got what I deserved, you know, somewhat, you know what I mean? Some of this stuff is just crazy, but, you know, because I've been, like I said, I've been questioned and indicted on murders. I didn't kill nobody, you know what I mean? But I hung around people that were capable of these things, you know, and I was always around them, mainly because they made me look kind of sane, you know what I mean? And then we became friends and stuff, but they made me feel okay with my fucked upness, for the lack of a better term, you know, because that's all you can hang out with to make yourself feel better.
So you're essentially like living out the most important developmental years of your childhood in prison. What was that like?
Well, you manufacture and play with things in your head that you're supposed to be experiencing, but you got to live in your head. So you can only think about the things you're supposed to be growing in, your fundamental growth.
So you're saying when you say living in your head, do you mean by that like you're always being forced to think about the past or the future?
No, what I mean is like, so your fundamental growth is physical, mental, all these things.
Right.
So you get a growth spurt. So most people out here would just experience their growth spurt. Me, I would read a book differently, or I would work out differently, or I would come up with some new idea differently than being in a place where, you know, people are just living their lives. I'm in a place where you're being told stuff, and there's violence, and there's, you know, you got to distract yourself,
right?
Not experience life. You got to kind of distract yourself from the lack of life. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
are you the youngest kid in there?
In there, at that time, I was the youngest in adult prison, because when I got to state, I was classified because of my size. They disregarded the youthful offender, and so I ended up which was better, because kids my age were just off the chain. They were, you know, doing a lot of dumb stuff. I probably would have been a lot worse off. I don't know. In some sense, I would have been worse off. In some sense, I would have been better off. But I like reading, working out, you know, so it was fine for me. I had a job collecting in there because my mom didn't have a lot of money. Mm-hmm. People didn't send me nothing. So, you know, I collected for guys. It was easy. It was kind of like camp for me, you know?
Yeah, it seems like most people I've talked to spent quite a long time in prison. They found some sort of ways, learned to find a way to make themselves valuable.
Yeah.
To increase value, whether it be like learning law and like helping people with their cases.
Yeah.
Matt's example was learned how to tell stories and write people's stories, made people, you know,
there's some talented people. I know guys that can slam dunk from the foul line. I know guys that can create a picture that's more lifelike than the real thing. You know what I mean? There's you got nothing but time to work on something.
It's something. Yeah. It's out of all the negative things about the prison system, it seems like it finds some of the best aspects you're able to discover within yourself.
That's the whole point of jail. Yeah.
When you have all that time to just reflect,
right,
and you have these boundaries you're living within, it seems like there's some sort of magic that happens.
That's exactly why, you know, prison and jail was created. That was the good idea, to let you sit with yourself and say, is this the way you want to live or not? Now, the problem is going back to distractions. They thought, oh, let's introduce education. I got my GED in there and stuff. It's all distractions. My last bid, where there was no correction deemed necessary, was the only prison bid where I changed.
Really?
Yeah. And I wish it would have been the first one, but I wouldn't have known it. I would have blew it up, you know. But at that time, I was ready to change, and I had a guy writing me that was helping me read certain things and redirect my thought processes. It was a really good guy I met through the craziest person I ever knew, but somehow he always had a good heart for me, and he introduced me to this one guy, and this guy ended up, you know, giving me concepts that are still coming alive today, and he's been dead for 10 years or so, you know.
When you met him on your last prison stint?
No. I met him before I went to this last prison stint. I was trying to do the right thing for a minute. Not on purpose. Somebody tricked me.
When you were out.
Yeah. Yeah. So somebody tricked me into going to a detox. I went in this detox, and this guy came in. I thought he was a clown, you know. He was doing, you know, good things for good people, and I thought he was, well, you know, weirdo. But I ended up getting to know him. And I ended up staying on his food time for like 6 months.
No shit.
Because he had such interest. He was speaking to the inside of me without me having to know he's doing it. Like, without me having to say it. You know what I mean? He was pulling stuff out of me and talking in a way that he knew where I was coming from. And all I had to do was listen. And I was like, huh. And then, so he did this about that, and he did this about that. And it was the worth issue. And there was this. He said all the things about his stuff. I got to listen to it and start practicing things. And then I got to see it differently. And the guy stuck with me up until his last breath. You